So how exactly does the price of a stock move from one penny to the next? Who is determining this? Is the market maker just choosing a number that he thinks will attract a lot of volume, put it up there and see what happens? Is the company itself deciding, hey, I think our stock is worth this right now, so let's call the exchange, have them put that up there, see what kind of trading occurs? Or are the hedge funds and brokers just trying to get one over on us and adjusting the price to what they think will benefit them the most? No. None of these things are true. The traders are what actually move the price of a stock. The people actually placing orders to buy and sell are the ones that are making it move. Even if an HFT or algo is hunting for stops, they still have to abide by the laws of the market. Yes, supply and demand do have something to do with it, but it has nothing to do with there being more buyers than sellers or more sellers than buyers. For every order that is executed, there is a buyer and a seller. So in theory here, there's actually the same amount of buyers and the same amount of sellers. You can't just buy stock out of thin air. Every time a stock changes hands, a buyer is purchasing it from a seller. And every time a stock is sold, the seller is giving it to a buyer. There's only a certain number of these shares available, and this is going to be determined by the stock's float. So then how exactly does the stock go from $10 to $10.05? Or from $10 to $9.95. How did it make that move? To understand this, the first thing we got to look at is something called the level 2, or often referred to as the book. Check it out. Here you'll see a level 2 order entry window for the stock Microsoft. I know there's a lot of numbers and a lot of information you're seeing on the screen right now, but I want to bring your attention to the colored in areas here. This is where all the information we're going to be talking about today is coming from. What you're seeing here is actually every order currently pending execution for the stock Microsoft in this current price range. The reason we're at this price range in particular is because the last order that went through was $56.02. We're going to be looking at the people that are wanting to buy the stock and the people that are wanting to sell the stock. On the left, we have the bid. On the right, we have the ask. Essentially, the left side is showing you the people that are wanting to buy the stock with a price and amount attached to their order. On the right side, we have the offers. This is also called the ask. This is essentially all the sellers of the stock. These are the people that are wanting to and willing to sell the stock right now with, again, a price and amount fixed to their order. And all the way to the right, you're going to see something called the tape. This is the tape right here. The tape is going to show you every single order that has been executed on the stock in real time. Now, the tape is pretty complicated. There's a lot of nuance to it. A lot of people actually interpret the tape wrong. We don't have enough time in this video for me to go over all that. So be sure to subscribe so you can see that video when it goes live. So first things first, what do I mean by the order, price, and amount? Let me show you here. On the bid side, these are people that are wanting to buy the stock. They're going to put the price that they want to buy it at and the amount that they want to buy. Okay, and how we see this is right here. This person here is trying to buy Microsoft at $56.01. Well, how much is he trying to buy? Is he buying it all? No. He has a size of 1. Now, something that you need to understand is because there's a lot of zeros in this trading game, okay? To save screen real estate, to save redundancy, to save a whole bunch of zeros all over the screen, the level 2 is actually going to cut off 2 zeros from the order amount. So when you see a 1, this means there's 100 shares. Okay, when you see a 10, that means there's 1,000. All right, when you see a 6, that means there's 600. All right, so you got to remember that. That's important. So this is indicating that there's somebody here wanting to buy the stock at $56.01. They want 100 shares. Now on the other side, the people that are selling it, the stock, this guy here wants to sell at $56.02. How many shares does this guy have to get rid of at $56.02? Well, he's got 600 shares. Now let's take a look at the market depth. We've got orders here of people wanting to buy the stock all the way down to $55.94. And on the selling side, we got people trying to sell the stock all the way to $56.11. And over here, you can see the total number of shares that each one of these guys has out there for sale or wanting to purchase. So now that you know what these numbers mean in the columns of the buy side and the sell side, what do you think would happen if I was to walk up into here right now and sell 200 shares to the bid, I decide that I am going to not wait for somebody to offer up until they finally buy my order, but I want rid of these shares right now, and there's people right here looking to buy my shares. Well, I don't really care about the 1 penny difference, so I'm just going to drop it on the bid. Now, what happens when I do that? The first thing that's going to happen is that this guy's order is going to fill. Okay, he's going to get filled at 56.01 of 100 shares. Now, I still have 100 shares left in my order to go. Now, where does that go? That's going to go to this guy. It's actually going to get sold to him for $56 flat, but he wants 700 shares. And I've only got 100 left to go. So it's going to drop the price of the bid from 56.01 to 56 flat, but his order is going to change to a 6 because he's been filled 100 of the 700 that he wants. Now, when you're looking at a stock chart and you're seeing the price moving around, that price is actually the last traded price. So if I push the button to sell and the price went down to that guy, I knocked out the 56.01 and put us at $56, this price here would say 56 flat. So now essentially the stock's price is now 56. And as you can see, there's a ton of people waiting to buy at 56. Now, what if I wanted into the stock? I didn't have a position. I want to buy into the stock right now, and I want to buy 1,000 shares right now. What would happen? Well, let's go look at the people that are offering the stock for sale. Again, that's the right side. This guy here has 600 shares that I could buy for $56.02. I have 1,000 shares I want to buy. So if I push the buy button for 1,000, it would knock this guy out. I would get 600 shares at 56.02 plus 400 shares from this guy here at 56.03. And the remaining number of shares he's going to have to offer is going to change. It's now going to be 600 instead of 1,000 because I took them off his hands. But what did this do to the stock price? I personally was able to move the stock price up 1 penny by buying 1,000 shares. All we're doing here is really working through these little floors. Let me ask you another question. Let's say that I run an algo or I'm an HFT trader and I wanted to hit all of the stop orders that were underneath 55.95, okay? Which means that I need to somehow get the price down to $55.94. How am I going to do that? How can I change the price of Microsoft to knock out all the stops as a single person? How could I do that? Well, you take all of these orders here and you add them up. Okay, there's 100 here, 700 here, 500 here, 600 here, there's 1,000 here, 800 more here, another 1,000 there, okay? We're gonna add all that up and we're gonna get 5,600 shares. If I wanted to make the market jolt, if I wanted to make it drop below the 55.95 area, I need to sell 5,600 shares right now to the bid. Now, if I did that, it would knock out each one of these people. They would be gone. Their orders are now gone. All the way down. Bam. Price is now going to be at 55.94. And it works the same way on the other side. If I wanted to bring the price all the way up and I wanted it to go to 56.10 for some reason, all I have to do is add up the amount of shares that are posted for sale right now and execute an order on the ask for that many shares, and it would knock them out. Bam, 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 bam. And next thing you know, the last price that traded is going to be my last order that got filled, and that's going to be at 56.10. I know some of you might be realizing that this level 2 is a weaker level 2 at the moment, but this isn't intended to get you to interpret the level 2. I'm just trying to get you to understand how to read the level 2. And when you can understand how to read the level 2, what it's telling you, what these numbers mean inside these colorful boxes, you can then understand how the stock is actually moving from 1 penny to the next. Nobody's just setting a price. Nobody's trying to screw you. Nothing's happening like that. All that's happening is that orders are coming in and they're either for buying or for selling. And if there's enough shares to be sold at a certain level, the price doesn't move. But if you're trying to buy 1,000 shares of a stock and there's only 600 at the current price, you're going to move the price to the next level. That's it. There's no trickery. There's no craziness going on here. It's not more buyers than sellers. As you can see, if I wanted to buy shares, I have to buy it from a seller. If this guy here wants to sell his shares, he has to sell them to them. So there's the exact same amount of buyers and sellers the whole time. There's just not as many shares available at each price level. And no matter who the person is, no matter if it's a hedge fund guy, no matter if it's a market maker, it doesn't matter. They all have to abide by the physics of the market. That's what I'm going to call this, the physics of the market. This is how it works. This is how things move. And I hope I've taught you today a little bit on how exactly this is happening. If you learned something today, if you got value out of this video, please hit subscribe, the thumbs up, leave me a comment. If you got a topic you'd like me to go over personally, throw it in the comments and I'll get that video out ASAP. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Peace.